All right, let's make some noise for game number 2 here. WhiteRA versus Iloveoov. He's trying to bring it back in his favor. Iloveoov up by 1 win. And WhiteRA looking to win this matchup and force it to a 3rd game. He's going to try his best, and I know he's got a lot of support out there in the crowd. There you can see a lot of his fans just waiting to see if he can bring out the right strategies, be patient enough, and possibly take down the Korean #1 seed Iloveoov. He is now up 1 map to 0 as we get started here for set number 2. It will be on Azalea, and we should expect a good game out of this one.
All right, now they're both starting at the bottom. Iloveoov spawning a red Terran at the bottom right, and that would make WhiteRA the teal Protoss at the bottom left.
I think red looks pretty good on the Terran.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite color on the
Red
Terran.
looks good on you, too.
Oh, thank you. And we're now seeing that this means that they're going to be closer than they could be if they were diagonally from each other.
Right.
And I think that means, well, we'll have to see exactly how WhiteRA opens, because last game, if you remember, he did not scout after the pylon. So he might do the same thing this game. He might open the same way regardless of the location. Now Protoss have a couple options here. Remember that there is no ramp on this map. There's no elevated area. You don't start out on a plateau, which means that Terran has a little bit more of a hard time holding off the rush. Now the question is, does Protoss capitalize on this opportunity and move in there with his Dragoons, attempt to break the wall, or does he know that since Iloveoov is such an excellent player, he will be better off allowing Iloveoov to go into a defensive position where Protoss can expand early?
All right, well, once again, the red Terran at location 5 o'clock on the map, and that one is Iloveoov. And WhiteRA over on Protoss, he's yellow or green over at the 7 o'clock position. The scoutings now will begin here as we do have a gateway being put out just outside of the main base, starting off here for the Protoss.
Yeah, also note that Iloveoov did not opt to wall in. He's obviously feeling very comfortable. He thinks that he can hold off a rush regardless of what happens. And we now see that still WhiteRA has not scouted, which is not bad. It just means that he's using those probes to get as much resources as possible, not wasting a single probe scouting. And it looks like Iloveoov also, for instance, since he did not wall in, he will get a few extra minerals since the SCV will not have to travel at such a great distance.
All right, well, that will help out his economy just a little bit. The opening moments here of the second map between Iloveoov and WhiteRA. Iloveoov up by 1. We're going to have the first barracks going down as well. And already you can see this build order starting to develop here for both these players.
Yes, absolutely. We're now seeing the cybernetics core going up. Again, this is all by the book right now. Nothing's deviated from the normal path. We're now only just now seeing WhiteRA begin to scout. And it looks like he's going to be scouting, unfortunately, in the wrong direction, although I highly doubt this will affect his build in any way. We do, however, see the factory going down for the Terran, and that means that we're going to see tanks here pretty soon. I would assume that he would definitely get the tank first before the Vulture, since he did not wall in. He will need that tank to hold off a possible Dragoon rush, which I think is right now, Marcus, is an inevitability
All right,
in this game.
So we could see a Dragoon rush here early on. WhiteRA once again having to win this game and force it to a 3rd. It would be absolutely amazing if he could knock out one of the Korean seeded Iloveoov. And I did think I saw Jelizerg in the crowd watching on and rooting on his fellow Korean teammate here as they're just trying to keep it alive here. Possibly take yet another WCG championship away here in Monza, Italy for the 2006 Grand Finals.
Yes, that's right. Remember that Koreans have never not won WCG. They always win WCG. And I asked myself, will there be a day when the Koreans will not win? Will there be a day when the foreigners can come back? And right now it doesn't seem like it, although it's still a possibility with players like, with all the foreigners down here. They're all very good, but it's still definitely in favor for the Koreans, in my opinion.
All right, well, we see the scouting probe and SCV pass each other, once again saying hello. They do not decide to stop for a drink. They're not that friendly, so they'll just continue on their merry ways. Now, already some Marines coming out, not really going to do anything but just hold off, maybe be sort of a scouting team, if you will, around this area. And I would guess that seeing that probe coming and the SCV passing it, that he would go the opposite direction and maybe try to scout in the lower southwest corner, but that just wasn't the case. He's going to go ahead and check all portions of the map, which is still probably a good thing in case the Protoss were to, in fact, do anything unorthodox.
Absolutely. Also note, we see, I believe there's 2 probes on him. No, excuse me, that's a Dragoon. I was wrong. He's scouting to see if there's any kind of a hidden factory. We see a fast robo. This means there's going to be a very fast Reaver drop over here, well, okay, now hold that thought too, because we see the Terra now pushing out. This is a very common opener, although note, we did see Midas do this against Kobo earlier, and this did cost him the game. This is kind of an aggressive maneuver. He's going to move out here, see if he can put any pressure on the Protoss. However, if he's not careful and he leaves these units too far out, he will, and I'm not quite sure exactly what he's doing right now. He is going in the opposite location of his opponent. I'm a little bit curious as to what exactly is going on here, Marcus.
No, this is very interesting. A group of 6 Marines, a platoon, if you will, with 1 siege tank, and it looks like a Vulture is joining as well. It looked like he actually just scouted. Right, either he made a mistake or maybe he didn't scout up in that corner and thought that must be where he is, but he quickly made a turnaround. We'll head back to the center of the map. Don't think he's going to lose too much time over that one as he continues to send units to back up. Some mines already being placed down, some spider mines there in the center, and looks like the first Reaver is out.
You know, I honestly, yeah, it looks like Iloveoov accidentally, you know, he made a mistake back there, and he actually scouted the wrong way. I'm assuming that he actually just noticed the timing of when the probe came, and then made a miscalculation, not realizing that WhiteRA actually scouted very late. Now the push is happening. Now the pressure's on, but this Reaver will be very, very strong here. He's going to take out that first bike. It's all up to the micro right now. Right now, Oov is trying to trick him into falling back into those mines, but WhiteRA will not fall for that. He will have none of this.
He saw him go down right away, and the Vulture going to go out, thought he was going to place another one, but no, he'll just scout, see what's going on, and they will head back. So that push was diverted as the Dragoons take out these spider mines here in the middle that were blocking the exit to the base of the Protoss player, WhiteRA. Now, it does look like that's our first expansion here by the Terran, and it looks like we've also got another command center moving around as well.
Yes, absolutely. Iloveoov now getting up his expansion. However, WhiteRA coming right back here is going to try to pick off these mines. We're waiting to see if that shuttle with the Reaver in it's going to come in here. I haven't seen it yet, but it could be possible he would do some kind of a drop right now. The bike now is trying to sneak in here. Ah, no! It did the Dragoon. The Dragoon took a look at that bike and walked right by.
I'm not sure why, especially considering how low on HP that Vulture actually was. And will that bike be able to do anything effectively in the base? That's a question. Or was it just a scout maneuver?
Okay, now we're seeing a drop right here into Iloveoov's base. This Reaver Blast will be very devastating. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure. Oh my gosh! He did kill the Reaver, but he did manage to break that. That is huge. He will do some serious damage to his opponent right now. The SCV is now rushing in here. He's going to have to micro these. He is pulling his units off mining. However, if WhiteRA cannot do the necessary amount of damage, this will not be useful. However, you know, that was really good, though. He did kill a lot of tanks, and those tanks are useful later on when he begins to push. So that will slow him down quite a bit. Perhaps WhiteRA will even do a double expand. It's not clear right now. But he did decide that this was the time to pull his units out. He has made Iloveoov waste enough units, and he definitely did kill a good amount of tanks.
And it's going to do a little bit of halting on the production of units just because there was an interruption of the mineral line there by those SCVs having to come out now. And we're going to have some more scouting here by WhiteRA as he checks out this expansion to see what is actually going on. Looks like the one in the southeast corner, or the just northwest, of the main base is fine and completely protected here. And now Dragons and a Templar are just waiting outside. Another Reaver has gone out. Now, you know, what he's going to do with that, maybe the same approach to what he did last time?
You know, I'm not sure. You know, WhiteRA, from what we've seen already, we see that he's very comfortable continuing to be aggressive. And I think against a player like OOV, that's not a bad idea, especially because, you know, it's so hard to out macro him.
Right.
You really want to keep crippling him early, and so that you could somehow get ahead. And I think that's what we might be seeing here. However, this would also be an excellent opportunity to just continue to macro and continue to expand, in these spots. Okay, no, we're seeing the shuttle over here. It's moving in. However, 2 mines have been placed over here. And the question is, will he fall victim to the mine trap like he did earlier, Marcus?
Yeah, and the mine trap definitely devastating his last attempt on this game. In fact, had it not done anything, he probably would have been in good shape. But he's going on the lower southern part of the map, and he should avoid the mines. If he dropped it right here, he'll drop a Dragoon. And then the Reaver right inside. I think he's going to be able to devastate these SCVs. 1, 2 go down.
He cannot afford to lose these SCVs.
He picked it up.
Why? Oh my gosh.
Again.
This is very serious right now. It looks like he did lose a lot of SCVs right now, and we've already seen that he's been slowed down quite a bit right now. If he can get this Reaver over here and blast these SCVs, he got even more back there. I think it was a necessary casualty for that Reaver to die. He will probably get a Purple Heart or something for all the damage he's done to Iloveoov's base right now.
Definitely. We will not forget that Reaver.
He will be remembered in Protoss history.
Close to our hearts. Very, very nicely done. A huge, devastating blow to the SCVs there of the Terran side, Iloveoov. And so far, we've seen absolutely no interruption of the economy here on the Protoss side. But we do have a push up. It looks like 4 Dragoons and a Templar here having a little bit of trouble with these Vultures and Marines. The siege tanks following up as well. They're going to have to get out of there. And, it's pretty much over for those guys. The mines go down, those will not hit, but I think both these guys will also go down as Dragoons just melt like ice.
Yes, I'm not sure if Iloveoov is going to push right now. It looks like he's continuing to expand, though.
Yeah.
But we're seeing yet another attempt by WhiteRA to foil Iloveoov's plans right now. The more SCVs you lose, the less money you're going to have later on. But the question is, can you out macro the machine, Iloveoov? And I don't know if WhiteRA can, but anything's possible at the World Cyber Games, Marcus. This is a Dark Templar draw. Oh my God!
Oh no!
Oh man,
even WhiteRA, you can see the look on his face. I'm pretty sure that he had a couple more units in that shuttle ready to drop.
I would not be surprised if there were actually 4 DTs in that shuttle. However, I don't think, does he have a tower in his base or a scanner? If he actually goes down there, he might actually be able to, oh no, he does have a scanner, excuse me. He's going to be able to pick off a few SCVs here, probably not as much as WhiteRA would have liked to have had. And I think this that poor drop back there will haunt WhiteRA for some time now. He will get a few more SCVs, and this certainly will help. This is 4 kills right now, 5 kills. Now, this could have been 1 blast from a Reaver drop. Okay, 7.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, he's just now scanning. All right, that will get 6 kills. No, that drop actually did a decent amount of damage anyways, Marcus.
Obviously, it wasn't as effective as I think as WhiteRA intended it to
Absolutely,
be, but he still managed to salvage it based off that mistake. The shuttle getting taken down pretty easily there by the anti-air, by that tower. But you know what? When you make a mistake, you always got to make the best of it, right? And I think that he did that right there.
Absolutely. And a player like WhiteRA can certainly capitalize on any opportunity, as we've seen down here. He's a very aggressive player. He likes drops. He likes DTs. He likes Reavers. Oob seems a little shook up right now, I think. He's scanning late. He scouted the wrong spot. He knows that that's a very embarrassing thing to have on camera, especially with a reputation such as his. The pressure's on OOV right now to really play this out. Although, as we can see, his macro has not failed. He does have a lot of units.
Obviously. And we've got another Templar drop, Zealot, excuse me, and there is 1 Dark Templar in there as well, and they will make their way in. The mines come out. There's some damage on those units, but they will manage to make their way in and continue to interrupt this line.
Yeah, he's continuing to attack these SCVs, and I gotta say, he's losing a lot, but Iloveoov is gonna come right out here and pick off more Dragoons. Okay, you can.
Oh
okay, you know what's funny? Iloveoov, I don't think is actually aware that those SCVs are being attacked, because your forces are under attack. That it always does. Is actually, he probably thinks that's just his units getting attacked over there. He will lose almost all of his SCVs.
Gosh.
Another embarrassing moment for OOV. WhiteRA, an excellent play right now by him. Very sneaky. Even though he didn't have any kind of power unit such as a Reaver or a Templar for Storm, he still ran in there. He still got a lot of SCVs. Oh my gosh! I didn't even see that one coming. There are so many dead SCVs right now. This is very, very bad for the Terran, and Protoss is continuing to grow, and WhiteRA knows this.
And I just saw another shuttle coming out once again. I'm not sure if we're going to have another attempted drop here, but if he can continue this harassment, it might be what he needs. You mentioned that the macro has not really been interrupted, considering the sheer amount of units that are collecting just northwest of the base of Iloveoov. However, he's not really had a chance to utilize there. Another scan, that one was nicely done, but you were right. He's been a little late on his scans, and that is just devastating him. And here we go, another drop in session.
Another drop coming in here, and the goal here is definitely going to be to pick off that special ed mine. Did not get those things in time. However, he will be able to kill off some more SCVs. WhiteRA now kind of going into central control of the map. He does not want to let OOV get out of his base. That drop was not as efficient, with the exception that it did pull Terran's forces back into his base, slowing down the push, allowing WhiteRA to continue to macro. But Marcus, I have not really gotten a good glimpse of how many units WhiteRA has had. We have not really gotten a glance over at those gateways, so it's not clear if OOV has continued to out-macro him. And an economic game like StarCraft, things like that are very, very important, okay? And now the push has begun. In spite of all the lost SCVs, he will continue to push out. And here we go. OOV now microing those units backwards. Very poorly done by those zealots. He needs to pull his forces back. All right, now WhiteRA did what he wanted to do there. While he's losing too many units, I think, right now. It looks like OOV's macro is just so good. Oh my gosh, but another drop is going on over here, and he will manage to get quite a lot of SCVs, but has he been spending so much money and so many resources throwing units at his opponent? Will he be able to do what he needs to do over here? I don't know if he will. It's not clear. Remember, WhiteRA has lost a lot of units just simply harassing his opponent, and it looks like OOV has kind of calculated this in his mind right now and is instead continuing to push anyways.
Yeah, and even though he's being pushed around the map and forced to concentrate on various points, those drops, while having been effective, it's a question on whether or not effective enough to prevent that push from coming in, and that could be a problem later on.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It seems like OOV is making a bit of an error right here. He is not actually aware of this expansion and is not pushing it, which he could be doing very easily right now. DT going in here. Will OOV scan it in time? Yes, but will this Reaver get another little shot off over here? But it didn't actually. It wasn't enough to get that tank, unfortunately. However, WhiteRA, the pressure's on right now. However, if he can keep this expansion over here at the top left, perhaps he can still hold off this push. I'm not sure. Although, you see the rally point over here, it looks like the units are actually rallied too far up, which means some of them are going to be going into this danger zone over here. Those mines were pulled forward. I thought that was going to get more bikes there, but it did not. And we're seeing the push slowly but surely moving into WhiteRA's base.
And there's the siege mode up of these tanks. They will get a lot of units. A shuttle is coming in as well. He's going to fly right over there. He's going to stop momentarily.
He should have dropped that. The mines were there. He could have blown up, but I don't think he had vision of those mines. I'm not sure. I don't know if I saw the observer or if there was an observer there. It wasn't clear. What is clear, though, is that right now, OOV has the pressure on, and right now, it's not clear. WhiteRA seems a little bit unsure of himself. He's trying to figure out exactly how many units are back there, and also that barracks kind of gets in the way. Your units, okay. Whoop. All right, he almost lost that shuttle, and he did lose a few zealots out there. OOV not fazed at all by what's been happening earlier, Marcus, and is continuing to just rush in here rabid for revenge.
And you could definitely see this as a battle of attrition as the push has gone forward here by the Terran over and over again, and now he will begin to pound on that Nexus, and it will go down. The shuttle almost about to go. An Arbiter will join in on the fun, but I don't think it'll be enough. Another scan here just outside the expansion, and I gotta say the Terran Iloveoov is getting closer and closer here to the base. I don't see anything on the Proto side, and it's worrying me, Tasteless, that's going to be able to defend this push.
Yeah, you're right. I liked what we saw with the harassment, but one thing that we have to remember is that when he was throwing all those zealots in there, those zealots could have been used to stop this push right now. And especially after he continued to do it, I think imagine the supply limit that he lost doing all that stuff, and that might be what's going on over here. Although it also, I'm sure, has a lot to do with the fact that OOV is the monster Terran and has impeccable macro.
And we will continue on here as now another gateway will go up. The bikes are going to move in. This could be the push. Tanks are sieged just outside of firing range, and the bikes, Vulture bikes, will make their way in. They're just starting to pound on the Dragoons that are coming out of here. And one gateway going down. We're going to see another one drop here shortly after the fire continues. And it looks like I saw another command center over there just kind of all by itself that was getting beat on by a Dragoon. But it doesn't seem like OOV is really having much concern on that right now. And the shuttle will drop drop. Well, he drops his Zealot, but that did.
Good
And that's
game.
going to be it. GG. The push was too much. I love OOV. He were right, Tasteless. His macro just too intensive. Even though those little hits on his economy were looking very effective, it just wasn't enough. And I think, Tasteless, that is proof on just how unbelievable his macro actually is.
Yes, I mean that I was really blown away by that, and I think although I think I Love OOV is aware that his opponent was very, very strong, excellent. WhiteRA seems to have a really good understanding of tactics in this game and technique. And I think that's something that I really learned a lot about from him this game. I was very impressed, but when it comes to StarCraft, it's so much about disciplining yourself and mastering these things, and OOV has just done that so well.
And I Love OOV advances past the quarterfinal in a 2-map sweep over his opponent, WhiteRA. WhiteRA will now be unfortunately eliminated from the tournament, and I Love OOV will advance on, and we are going to have another StarCraft match here up on stage shortly. But let's give a round of applause and congratulations to the Korean I Love OOV for his win over WhiteRA. And coming up next from Mexico, Stim will be taking on Korea number 2 seed Midas in another round of 16 matchup. And that will happen here shortly from Monza, Italy, live from the World Cyber Games 2006. This is Inside the Game, DJ Wheat and Tasteless.